or this training, this video is going to be part of a 5-part series, or maybe more. Let's see. Let's see how many videos I want to do on money and nervous system, on healing your relationship with money with the lens of looking at the nervous system. And I'm so excited to do this with you guys. And already the title, I love money and why you should too. Why you should too. Oh my God, I can't even say it. Feels very like, ooh, I don't know about you, but I wrote an Instagram post with exactly that statement as well. And when I wrote it, I was like, ooh, this is spicy. And at the same time, why I want to bring this conversation forward is because I believe alone this conversation can be very healing. Hold on, I'm just gonna put the phone, okay, like this. Alone the conversation of allowing yourself to love money can be very healing. And let me explain why. The lens that I look through when it comes to allowing yourself to love money is coming through in a way where the majority of us women, we don't allow ourselves to follow our desires. We don't allow ourselves to follow the things that we actually want. And the thing is that, how can I say this? Growing up, I am very grateful for the experiences that I've had. And I realized something within me always felt like I want more experiences. I'm an experience type of girl. Like I love experiences. I love concerts. I love travel. Material, yes, but I'm more of like an experience type of girl. Like I like to pay for experiences and I like to have experiences. This is what really fills my life. This is what makes me feel rich, okay? And I remember that many times when I was making money decisions, when I wanted to buy something for myself or pay for an experience, I would always ask myself, but do I need this? Do I really need this right now? Do I need the concert? Do I need the dress? Do I need the shoes? Do I need this thing? And it really got me thinking of how often do we actually have a desire and we don't allow ourselves to follow through on that desire because it doesn't feel like a need. And so when I talk about loving money and why you should too, it's because from a nervous system standpoint, from a nervous system lens, what I want you to understand is that the reason why we feel like we don't really have a healthy relationship with money is because not our own fault, because of our own fault, but because of the things that we grew up with, the things that we have heard, the things that we have experienced. And I used to have this relationship with money that I would only buy something if I would really need it. If I would really feel like, okay, my shoes are really broken right now, I should probably get new shoes. It was never to a point where I was like, hey, I desire to buy myself these shoes. Let me buy myself these shoes. And if I would, it would be attached with guilt. It would be attached with feeling guilty that I bought this thing. And it really got me thinking about how often we have this relationship with money that is really not based on desire, not based on overflow, but based on survival. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand I've been there many times in my life and business where the purchases that I could make were based on survival and needing something. It wasn't based on overflow. But what ended up happening in my business is that I started making more money than I was, for example, making in my past job. And I still started to realize that I still had the same relationship with money. So despite me making a lot more money than I made before, I still didn't allow myself to buy the shoes without guilt or to buy the experience without guilt. It still felt very constricting. It still felt like every purchase I needed I needed to have a proper reason why I'm buying this. And so I remember the first time I flew business class. And that was an upgrade. So I was flying to Dubai at that time, and I bought normal economy, and I saw on the app as I was about to check in that there was an upgrade for business class. And it was with Qatar as well. So if you've ever flown with Qatar and you've ever been in business class, it's an incredible experience. Anyway, so I remember seeing the upgrade on my phone and talking to my partner about it. And I'm like, is this crazy if I do this? And that was also during a time in my business where I definitely made more money than before. And I felt this overflow in my body. And at the same time, I was like, even though I have this money, even though it's not going to make a big difference for me to spend this money, I was still trying to justify. I was still telling myself, well, I don't need this, right? I can just be in the plane for 11, 12 hours and I don't need to fly business class. Because ultimately, we don't need to do these things, right? We don't need the more expensive car. We don't need to fly business class. But something within me said, just do it. Do it for the experience. Do it for something new that you've never done before. Because I've never done it. I didn't like this. It felt so weird. And I decided to upgrade. And I decided to upgrade to business class. And I remember walking into the plane and feeling like I didn't belong. Feeling like, oh my God, what? Like, I don't belong here. And they offered me like a drink on a platter, and I had my own little cabin, and it was just a complete different experience. And I just remember feeling this uneasiness, like this, like, I don't belong here. Who am I to do this? This is stupid. This is dumb. I just wasted all this money. And I remember, instead of fully allowing myself to experience the experience, I still felt constricted. I still felt like I didn't belong. Even though monetarily, I was able to afford it. And this is not about me being able to afford it or not. It's more about the energy as I was in it, what I was actually experiencing, this feeling of, you've just done a stupid purchase. You could have saved the money. You could have done something else with the money. But I still had that desire of having that experience. And when I had that experience, being in business class twice, back and forth, something shifted within me. Something shifted to a point where I said to myself, I started seeing myself differently. And not only that, I started to have all these new creative ideas for my business, all these new upgrades, all this up leveling within myself, because I allowed myself to do something for me. I allowed myself to live life in overflow in this moment. And because I did, something shifted within me and my energy. And what was happening during the experience of me being in business class and feeling this disconnection was, and I talk about this a lot, the identity between the person that I was and the person that I was becoming. And this is a nervous system thing, because your nervous system is going to make you feel like you don't belong. It's going to make you feel like what you're doing is wrong. It's going to make you feel out of place, because all that your nervous system always wants to do is to keep you safe, is to keep you in the certainty. So of course, my old identity was connected to what my nervous system felt was safe. So my identity was not that one of flying business class. My identity was not the one of allowing myself to follow my desires and live life in overflow. My identity was the one of struggling, just getting by, having to work super hard for everything, right? And so I was in between those two identities, and that feels very uncomfortable. Being between where you want to be and where you have been feels very uncomfortable. It's that, I call it the messy middle. When I talk to my clients, I talk about it in terms of the messy middle. And this is where you have two choices. Either you fully lean in into the identity that you want to embody, and it feels uncomfortable. It feels like you're stretching yourself. It feels very dysregulating as well. Or you step back into what you've always known. You step back into comfort. When you choose to lean into the identity that you know you've always been, It will require you to regulate your nervous system because that expansion is going to feel very uncomfortable in your body. That expansion is going to feel new. That expansion will feel like you don't belong there. And so what we got to do when it comes to expanding and growing, if that's monetarily, if that's through experiences, if that's through growing the businesses that we want, is to actually do the nervous system work. Now, my example is just an example. For you, it might look like moving to another apartment. For you, it might look like posting more on social media because your old identity is not the one who was always seen. Maybe you were always the girl who was hiding, the girl that didn't allow herself to be bold and to be expressive. And so your old identity is the one of hiding and not showing up and not being bold. Whereas you know you want to be known, you want to stand on stages, you are right now in that messy middle, and you gotta be willing to lean into the uncomfortable. You gotta be willing to lean into the expansiveness, because once you do, you're going to experience a complete shift within yourself and within what you're capable of doing. But the feeling of uncomfortable is completely normal. And it's always going to happen when we're growing, when we're expanding, when we're having an experience that we've never had before. And that's what I call the energy of overflow. Because overflow is going to come to you when you allow yourself to lean into the uncomfortable. And when I talk about money, money is just a byproduct of you allowing yourself to lean into expansion, to fully step into that new identity, to fully allow yourself to have the experiences that you want to have, to fully allow yourself to do the things you want to do, even though your old identity might be pulling you back, and your old identity will be like, you know what? We don't deserve to be here. Who do you think you are? No one's going to watch your content. No one's going to buy from you. These thoughts are completely normal because right now you do not have proof that something else is possible. Right? Your nervous system works like this. Right now, you only have proof of the opposite. You have proof of what is not working for you. You have proof of what life looks and feels like when you're here in the present moment. And either you've already created a lot of amazing things, incredible, so you know how to create that proof. But maybe you're also here right now where you've been working really hard, you've been hustling, you've been putting in all the effort, but your identity has, your reality has not shifted. And so your nervous system does not have proof of the opposite. Your nervous system has never even leaned into the opposite. And so, of course, all that your nervous system knows is the familiar. And it might be familiar hell, but it's the familiar. So in order for you to step up, in order for you to start living your life in overflow, in order for you to create the life that you want, you got to heal your relationship with money. You got to heal your relationship with overflow. And you also got to be willing to do the thing that is going to feel uncomfortable and that is going to stretch you. And that's, as I said, it's the messy middle. It's the hardest part to be in. Because this is the uncertainty. This is where we don't know what's going to happen on the other side. Right? So I want you to take a moment right now and ask yourself, how would you describe your relationship with money? And if you want, you can drop it down below as you're watching this, or if you're watching the recording. I want you to ask yourself, how would you, in one word, describe the relationship that you have with money today? Would you really say that you're living life in overflow? And this is not just monetarily, but connected to everything. Are you only allowing yourself to have the things that you need? Are you only taking action from your current situation? This is another thing. So when I decided to fly business class, I didn't fly business class from my current reality. I decided to fly business class because my future self already flies business class. And I've never had the proof, I've never had the experience that my body believed it was possible. So every time I make a decision for my business, for myself, I choose to make a decision based on where I want to be. I imagine that I already live this life. I imagine that I'm already this person. And then I make the decision. And this also comes with investments that I make in myself when I choose to work with a mentor, when I choose to join a coaching program, when I choose to work with a guide that levels me up to that next level. I make decisions based on who I want to be, where I want to go, not based on my current reality. I never make decisions based on the lack that I'm in right now. I make decisions based on the overflow I want to create. And so when I decided to fly business class, it created a positive experience for me that showed me, Jess, this is possible for you. This is not just a one-off thing. This is who you are. Did I feel uncomfortable? Absolutely. Did I feel like I wanted to go back to economy? Yes. Did I fly economy afterwards? Yes, I did. Right? But because I had that experience, it allowed me to really get a taste of who I am becoming. And the same thing applies to your growth, your relationship with money. If you really want to heal your relationship with money, you got to lean into the uncomfortable. You got to be okay to treat your life in overflow. And I'm not saying go left and right and spend money like crazy. That's not what I'm saying. But you know right now where you're limiting yourself and where you could create much more expansion in your life. You know that for yourself. It's showing up for you right now. I've created the program Safe to Be Rich because of that. Because I was asking myself, who needs this program? A lot of the programs that I create come through a download, right? So I have a download based on the energies that I'm feeling and based on the people that are either in my life or the people that are surrounding me, my community, you guys here on YouTube and on other platforms. And whenever I have a download like this, I know that people need this program because healing my relationship with money and telling myself, Jess, you love money, I love money, has been the best thing I could have ever done for my business expansion. Because so many of you who are entrepreneurs, who are business owners, because you have this icky relationship with money, you're not allowing yourself to fully be bold, show up, sell, do the things that you know you need to do to up-level your business and your life. If you really want to start making more money, hold more money, experience more abundance, you got to be willing to look what's stopping you from that. And as long as you don't do the work on feeling safe to be rich, and even as I talk about money, I know when I used to listen to other people talk about money, I felt this like ickiness. I was like, why is everyone talking about money? What the fuck, right? I shouldn't swear. Here, I don't know if I can, whatever. I had to really heal that. And I would look at other people making more money than me, and it felt like unfair. It felt like I will never be this. I will never be that. But it was my responsibility to heal that within myself. It was my responsibility to look at, well, I can have all of this. I deserve to have all of this. I can live life in overflow. But as long as I don't heal what's helping me create that, of course, I will feel blocked in creating that abundance. And so Safe to Be Rich is for you if you're a female entrepreneur, if you're ready to heal your money blocks. I'm gonna drop the link down below. We're starting next week. This program will change the industry. It's going to change you. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And also tune in because this is a money series that I'm doing. So every day or every other day, let's see, I'm going to be going live and do a training on healing your relationship with money. Sending you so much love. Bye-bye.